Hello Internet, and today is going to be another August wrap-up revolving around the NEWTS readathon. You can go look it up if you are not familiar with this concept already. Basically, it was a readathon in which there were 12 different subjects and 3 prompts for each subject, and I wanted to be an overachiever, so I did everything. And for today's topic is the subject of charms and the 3 prompts that went along with that. So the first prompt for acceptable was a book that contained magic. For this, I read Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, I believe. I absolutely love this book. It was fantastic. It has fat Latina rep. I loved it. And to give a short synopsis of what it's about, our main character, which is the fat Latina, so yay for being an MC and being strong, highly relate. She has a best friend who ends up dead along with 2 other girls earlier in that month, and she decides that it's no way possible that her friend could have possibly committed suicide, so she decides to use her witchy powers to call her friend back up from the grave, and she accidentally calls up the other 2 girls only to find out that they were all murdered and none of them committed suicide. So it is a whole little, I guess, sort of mystery book about them trying to figure out who murdered the girls at the end of the day. I don't think the main point was the mystery. It had a lot more to do with like the friendship and the companionship between all 4 girls and all of that, which is kind of really sad because it turns out that the girls' best friends are zombies who are going to have to die eventually because they can't stay undead forever. So that was kind of sad when you really think about it. I did like this book. I liked the concept of it. I liked having a witchy character. I loved having fat Latina rep. I loved everything about this book. Once again, I think if you're going in for like a mystery book, this is not going to be the book for you. But if you're going in for like strong female characters and strong female friendships, you're going to love it. And I even liked the villain of this book. I thought it was like, it wasn't unpredictable. I feel like somebody had kind of told me that before I started, so when I was reading, I was like, this must be the villain character. This must be the villain character. I'm pretty sure it's this person here. And yes, that is fairly predictable if you're like familiar with like murder stories, but I don't think that subtracts from the story. I always like to remind people, just because something is predictable does not mean it isn't good. So I thought this was a great book. Absolutely loved it. Loved the female friendships. Loved the determination. Loved everything that was going on. And I liked the magic. Like, I thought it was a very interesting way to have magic that seemed plausible. Like, I liked how she brought the girls back to life. And I liked the rules and the regulations of everything going on around. And I thought it was really good. And I did like the ending. And I liked the villain. And I thought that was a pretty good. Like, it seemed like it fit with the plot. It worked. It's good. It, like, sometimes some things don't really fit together. I thought everything fit together great, and it was amazing, and I loved it. Now I just need to call up some friends because I don't have any. Maybe I can go into someone's backyard, figure out if I can call up the dead. The next prompt was for Exceeds Expectation, and that was a cover by. I read A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I actually reread this. I read it on audiobook this time. This is a cover by. Originally, I had a shitty cover version, but then I went to go buy this version. I just don't want to go get it off my shelf. So this UK beautiful version, cover by completely. I already had a US copy, decided to rebuy it in the UK copy so I could have the better looking one. This is about a group of companions, friends, a team of people who work on a hole punching ship. I don't know how to how do I best explain this? They're on a ship that punches holes through space to create like shorter like highways between the space, so they cause like small rips in times or small rips in space by going through this like sub-layer or something that basically creates shorter highways so you can get across the universe faster. And it is about this team, and they're all like from different places, they're all different species, and like that sort of stuff, and how they relate to each other, how they relate to people around them, just them and their lives and them living. And then the basic plot is that they're going somewhere that's kind of semi-dangerous to go and punch a new gateway or a new highway or whatever, and it's just fantastic. I did a really poor job of explaining it, but it's a 5-star. If you love space opera books, you're going to like this. It's good. It has great characters that just interact so well. It's fantastic. And then for my O, I read a book that leaves a mark, and for this I read Bitch Planet Volume 1. Somebody had recommended this for me. Originally, I was going to read Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, but unfortunately, my Hoopla credit timed out on this book, and then I had no more Hoopla credits, so I could re-get it, so I could finish it in the month of August. So I had to go to a different book, so I picked Bitch Planet Volume 1, and this was a book that was recommended to me at one point in the comics. I do take your guys' recommendations into consideration. Saw it at the bookstore, bought it. It takes place in a world where females are not thought highly of. I don't know. If you guys have ever watched that one movie, it's like Stanford Wives or something, where like they like make all the, like they kidnap all the wives and reprogram them to be robotic so that they could be the perfect wives. Did you guys ever watch that movie? It's sort of like that, but a lot worse. So all the women are like put on ratings. They have to like follow certain diets. They have to look certain ways. Your whole like point of you being a female is to please some man in some sort of way, and the women who do not conform perfectly or somehow disappoint their husbands, like there was one woman who ended up in this bitch planet prison because her husband cheated on her, and then she got angry about it, and then that was like her fault for getting angry because obviously she wasn't being a good wife, otherwise he wouldn't have cheated. You know, ridiculousness. So that's basically what this volume follows around, and this whole series is about the women who get sent off to the separate planet that is colloquially called Bitch Planet, and all of these women on this planet are the ones who do not conform, who want equal respect, who basically don't want the patriarchy shitting all over them, and it revolves around them. So I guess like it really leaves a mark because you were just like, oh my gosh, like, whoo, I can really relate to these things. Like, okay, right now society isn't as bad as this comic book, but you know what, I could never doubt that one day or in the past or like maybe in the future it could get this bad, because people are fucking horrible to each other, and I have never understood why, but just horrible for no damn reason. So like it really left a mark on me. It's not a happy comic, that's for sure. But that is it. That's all the things that I read for Charms. I finished it. I do want to ask, like, what kind of books do you think are ones that you would say leave a mark? For me, it's just books that I think from like 20 years from now, I'm going to remember in detail what that book talks about, or at least use that book of references. So like with Into the Drowning Deep, it was about killer mermaids, and like that is just amazing concept, love it, so I knew that would leave a mark. And then for Bitch Planet, it's about something that I'm just like, I always really contemplate because of the society we live in, that it leaves a mark, because I'm just like, oh, what if that does happen? Plus it's like a recurring theme because it's a recurring reality. But if you have any books you think would leave a mark for you, or if you have a specific definition for what you categorize as books you think will leave a mark, tell me down below. If you like what you're seeing here, you want to continue to see more, click all those bunnies down below, and goodbye, internet.